I don't think they do it on purpose. They just didn't pay attention to this. So you see that the concrete is up there, the retaining wall. Somebody's pushing it and it starts coming over.
Piles of building materials have been spilling into conservation lands, likely for years. And now one Toronto conservation group is asking local industry to be careful.
We can see the runoff down below our feet.
Floyd Ruskin is a member of Don't Mess with the Don, an informal volunteer group that looks after the Don Valley. He says one of the group's members was out in a less popular area of the valley when they noticed this. Piles of rocks and sand spilling out of the industrial property here behind me, owned by a building supply company. That material spilling over and choking out trees and plant life in the protected area below. Ruskin telling me this area replanted as recently as the late 90s and early 2000s.
And they've all been destroyed by just carelessness. I don't think it's intentional. I just think I believe it's carelessness.
The business behind the mess has already started a cleanup of the area, with more work expected over the next few days.
When they were contacted, they've stepped right up and they started clearing their space. That dirt was well out to the grass line.
Ruskin tells us for an area that was once landfill, it's become an important urban green space, not just for us, but for wildlife as well. So what we're following right now is a trail that's not actually created by people walking here. This is a game trail.
This is probably deer and coyote. And if you step to the side, I can tell you there's coyote here because you just stepped in coyote scat.
I just stepped in that?
Yeah, it's that's coyote scat. You can see probably rabbit hair in there. You can see the hairs in there. So yeah, this has been here a little bit. But the point of that is that there's wildlife all through here. This is a deer track. I mean, you can see the impression from the rear part of the hoof. We have the invasive plant, dog strangling vine.
Our ravines provide a tremendous amount of ecological services for the environment. And, they are all very valuable and we have to be taking care of them. Anyone who thinks it's appropriate to just dump waste material down in our ravines or in our conservation spaces is sorely mistaken. And we need to follow up with enforcement, with education, make sure that doesn't happen again, because it's just, frankly, it's unacceptable.
Both city enforcement services and the Toronto Region Conservation Authority are now looking into this particular dumping incident, with hefty fines being possible. Ruskin says while this is not an isolated incident, he is optimistic for the future of the Don Valley.
Toronto is very fortunate to have this nature's legacy of the ravine system.
In Toronto, David Zura, City News.